Ms. Williams, you are suing your former employer, Mr. Robinson, for $4,000.
Correct.
For back wages that he didn't pay and for emotional distress that you say he caused you.
Correct.
Now, you first began working for him for his business pro bono.
Correct.
Kind of a trial period. But then the two of you signed an employment contract that called for you to be paid $32 an hour.
Correct.
But you say he didn't honor that contract.
No.
That you would submit invoices to him, and he would pay you either a fraction of what you really worked or nothing at all. Mr. Robinson, you say that there were changes in Ms. Williams' personal life that affected her job performance. In fact, she became a lot less available. But she continued to bill you as though she worked more hours. You feel you've paid her what she's owed, and you don't owe her anything else.
That's correct.
Now, Ms. Williams, why don't you tell us how you began working for Mr. Robinson?
Mr. Robinson and I met in September, first part of September. We actually met over Facebook, and we started to have a relationship, but there was 2 incidents that he yelled at me while we were in a business Zoom call. After the second business Zoom call that he yelled, I said, no, we're not going to have a relationship.
Mr. Robinson, did you have initially a romantic relationship with Ms. Williams?
Yes, I did.
Did it end before you actually hired her?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you tell us about your business for a second?
I am an insurance consultant and also a nonprofit consultant. So I work with the local community, but I also evaluate all of their nonprofits to make sure that they're operating in their highest efficiency.
And Ms. Williams was doing work for you in this non-for-profit business of yours for free initially?
Correct. She was not used to the space, so we agreed that she would come on and see if it was something that she wanted to be part of. And then at a certain point, we decided to sign a contract. And I wouldn't respond to the yelling at her aspect of it. Okay. So, 2 incidents did happen, okay? I was frustrated with Ms. Williams and some things that I had talked to her about, behavior I talked to her about, and it kind of came to a head.
Professional?
Professional. And I lost my temper for a minute because it was just a bunch of pushback versus just own what you did, and we don't want to do this anymore. We actually never had a conversation about relationship. It just kind of petered out because we became professional. It just became professional, and we worked. And beyond that, we never had a problem. I mean, we worked. Once we got past that, there was never another problem between us.
But based upon the work that she had done pro bono, you felt that she was going to be valuable enough to your organization to sign her to an employment contract?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Ms. Williams, why don't you tell us about the employment contract, your understanding of it?
My understanding that I was going to do was research for grants, and if I came across a grant, to go ahead and write it up. I was going to do high-end administrative work, set up meetings for Zoom, and set up meetings for on the phone if there's any meetings such as that. It didn't have anything to do with his insurance company. That was what he did, insurance on his own.
Okay. And how would you track your hours?
October and November, we were working back to back all the way through. At that time, I did not have, anything to track my hours. But I was pretty much working every single day.
And was he paying you for what you said you worked?
At that time, he was not. Pretty much all of October, all of November, I wasn't going to get paid, but I had the understanding that I would be because I was putting grants in. And then the grants in December, he told me.
Wait a minute, what was your understanding? You say your understanding was that you were going to be paid and you weren't being paid?
Yes, my understanding was that once the grant came in, then I would be paid once the grants came in.
Mr. Robinson, what led to the memorandum of understanding, which is the employment contract?
Well, we made a conscious decision, she did obviously, to start working for me as of December 1, as per the contract. So as we are writing grants, none of the grants that were written by Ms. Williams, we never funded for any of those grants. None of those grants were ever funded, okay? The grant we were funded for, which she was well aware of, we didn't get paid till February, i.e. first payment. So as soon as we got payment, which she was aware of, I started paying her.
So, Ms. Williams, the employment contract is dated December 5th of 2024.
Right.
That outlines the $32 an hour that you're suing for. So would you submit invoices to Mr. Robinson on a weekly basis?
Basically on a monthly.
Monthly. And first month, December.
Right.
Any problems with the payment?
No.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, you paid everything that she claimed to have worked?
I didn't pay anything until the first funding came in. And then part of December, she was in Jamaica.